Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 13th of September, comes to you from London. Dollar sank lower yesterday, so that's just putting us bearish below the cloud. If we look at the last few months, we've actually been quite flat on the dollar, even though we remain bullish in the medium term, and the long-term chart is challenging resistance. The reality is the dollar has been fairly flat across the last few months, and dollar strength is holding, but it's not as strong as it looks. So, as it sounds. So, interestingly, dollar strength is still a theme in the markets, but we're not seeing it playing out in the charts as much as you would think. If we look at the euro, we see the euro actually strengthened the last few days, but still bearish medium term against the dollar and has been for the last several months. The real signal is the Japanese yen. And here we are seeing the dollar strength playing through, and the yen indicator tends to lead on the dollar. So we are seeing long-term bullish transition, medium-term bullish, and short-term bullish. So the dollar is still looking bullish there, yen looking bearish. Sterling seeing quite a lot of volatility the last week or so on Brexit toing and froing, and we are just holding above the 130 level, so still looking bullish short term, but medium term trend is down. Against the euro, we're still weak medium term and long term. Short term has seen a little bit more bullish, and against the Swiss franc, we're just seeing a decline now. Sterling coming back against the Aussie dollar, where it has been very strong. We're seeing Aussie dollar strength returning, sterling weakness coming back. Bitcoin up about 1%, short term just turning bullish on the cloud, but still very much in the doldrums, really. US stock markets last night pushed a little bit higher. We saw the S&P 500 index edge just up slightly. The Nasdaq also was a little bit stronger, and we're seeing the Dow also just pushing higher as well. But overall, markets are still fairly sanguine. The Dow yet to make a new high this year, and the Russell index was fairly flat. Looking at the futures this morning, the futures are in bullish territory on the short-term chart, and the trend's holding. We're seeing the Nasdaq E-mini slightly improved this morning. And if we look at the FTSE 100 index, not open yet in the UK, but still looking bearish below the cloud, as is the FTSE 250. So we are still seeing stocks in the doldrums. We have seen a bit of a stronger performance overnight in Asia, and that may just filter through to Europe. But these charts are all looking pretty bearish, medium and short term. That's the Xetra DAX, the CAC 40, the French market looking a little bit stronger short term. And here we see improvements in Asia. So Japan was up 1%, but still doesn't change the bearish picture really. Hang Seng was up quite strongly at 1.7%, bouncing off the bottom on hopes of China-US relations improving, and also the Shanghai index was up as well. But these are counter-trend moves, really. We are in fairly firm downtrends on Hong Kong and China at the moment. The Indian market was up as well, and the Aussie market just proved to be a bit of a laggard, down about 0.75%, just looking weaker there. The stronger Aussie dollar overnight just not helping. Looking at crude oil, we're sitting at $79.32, just nudging that $80 mark for Brent. WTI still sitting below $70, but looking pretty bullish, having nudged 71 yesterday. US nat gas sitting at $2.83, so looking stronger there as well. And if we look at some of the precious metals, we see gold actually sitting at above $1,200, jumped yesterday, weaker dollar helping there, and we're seeing silver also looking a little bit stronger as well. US 10-year yield sitting steady at 2.97%, just can't break the 3% level at the moment, and German bonds, the price and bonds actually still looking pretty weak, just sitting on the floor there. So bond markets are still in this long-term bearish move. Apple announcing new headsets last night, looking pretty strong. Amazon also still looking very strong, short and medium and long term, and short term finding some support on the cloud. Google, we're seeing also looking weaker. just lagging really the other stocks. Facebook sitting at 162, just below that 170 level is still a big concern for Facebook. We've got downside targets as low as 145, 114 even. So 10 and 30% downside from here, so that would be very bad for Facebook. And looking at Microsoft, starting to look a bit stronger again, back above that 110 level. Netflix actually moved up yesterday, up strongly, having fallen very heavily last month, just recovering now and starting to look a lot better on that medium-term chart. And Tesla, which has also been a real underperformer lately, did actually recover a bit last night, up a few percent. So that volatility there on Tesla is really showing through. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.